So that sucks, but yeah, roll with the punches. So there was a guy actually during the break who asked me a question. He said, how does pickup relate to life? How does the self-development in life work together? Well, that was a perfect example, right? How you handle things that happen to you in life, how you roll the punches. I'll give you an example too. I went and I played golf the other day in Vegas with Nick Papa, CEO of Real Social Dynamics. And this guy has a crazy mindset, right? He has like a CEO mindset. He's constantly just brainwashed himself to like be positive all the time. So we're playing golf, and me and my boy, we hit the ball, and it goes like, it goes into the sand pit and almost doesn't go into the water. And I'm like, shit, it went into the sand pit. And he's like, no, it was good. The sand pit stopped it from going into the water. Like positive reframe, right? Again, and then there was another part where he hit the ball and it hit the cement. It kind of like bounced, like it's like a hard ball. It bounced like that and like went somewhere weird. And he's like, oh, the cement helped your bounce, right? Even there's just then, right now, the fire alarm goes off, right? It's a very loose point, but bear with me now. The fire alarm goes off, and how do I take it? Oh man, it's gonna suck, you know, and the alarm went off and it ruined like 10 minutes of footage and all the things I was saying with this guy that were really good, nobody heard it, and it doesn't look cool, and da-da-da-da-da, you know, and I gotta start building up momentum again, but it's like, no, it's like, okay, now we're back and we're gonna be even better than before, right? It's like how you look at life and how you look at game. Game teaches you so much about life, it's crazy, right? I could not stand up in front of you guys, like 200 people in a room right now, if I didn't practice social skills and communication and cold approach pickup. I couldn't go to a job interview and flip the buyer-seller dynamic when I'm in the job interview to talk to the guy about the job. I couldn't do that. I couldn't go to a restaurant and not have my meal the way I wanted it and be able to return the meal like to the restaurant, right? There's so many ways, there's so many infinite ways that teaches you to not make excuses. I have a friend named Derek. Guys might know Derek. He's one of the coaches with RSD. And Derek recommends one book, okay? There's one book that you should always, always read. If you were gonna write down one note from the first 3 minutes of me talking here, it's gonna be this one fucking book. And his book is called No Excuses by Brian Tracy, okay? No Excuses by Brian Tracy. Amazing book, changed my life. I probably made an extra $20,000 in the year just from reading that book. Now you guys are like, oh yeah, now I'm gonna write it down, yeah. Extra $20,000 in the year just from reading that book. I'll tell you why that book is so phenomenal, since you've all asked. That book is so phenomenal because for about 12 hours of this audiobook, he goes through every single area of your life. Family, friends, career, health, love, like every area, and breaks down exactly what you need to do in order to excel in that area. No excuses. And he's phenomenal with it. He's tremendous, very, very direct, and he gives like concrete, step-by-step information. So it's like, after reading a book like that, you're like, damn, I can't make excuses anymore. It constantly challenges you to rise to the occasion and like rise to the plate, or rise to the occasion and handle what's on your plate, right? So it's an amazing book, I recommend it. So to the guy who asked the question, I don't remember where he is. Where are you, sir? Gentleman, sir, the guy who asked the question. Oh, you're right there? Yeah. So that's how it relates, right? Like a lot of guys think, oh, I'm gonna see the girl, right? I'm gonna see the girl and I'm gonna go and do the pickup. Like I'm gonna do the approach. Like, to me, this is like the most retarded thing ever, okay? Going to do the approach or do the pickup, it's like, for me, what is game? Game is life. They're one and the same. I see them exactly the same. Game is life. Life is game. I don't turn on, to you over there as well, I don't turn on a game personality or a pickup personality when I approach the 8 or the 9 or whatever. I don't turn on a pickup personality when I go to the restaurant or I go to the job interview. It's like, this is me like 24/7 a day, right? I'm always like this. I'm like this. I'm walking through life like this. I'm living life like this. So it's not a shtick I'm putting on, right? And until you do that, back to you just bouncing around here, until you do that, it's hard to develop the core confidence to deserve that girl, right? Because you always know in the back of your mind, you're kind of just doing it, but you're not actually doing it based on your core personality of who you are, right? That's what it means to be yourself. Like once you eventually like be yourself and you build it up like, oh, I was myself, you get more and more evidence of being yourself, then you get that core confidence into being yourself, right? Like I was in Vegas and I pulled a girl who would have been qualified as a 10, and guys asked me how I did it. The way I did it is that earlier on in the day, Vegas Immersion, like the RSD program Vegas Immersion, we all went rock climbing in the Nevada desert on Red Rock, okay? I still have the splinters and the blisters in my hand from when I was climbing on rocks and I got cactuses in my hand. We lost 3 of the guys and we couldn't find them. There was no cell phone reception, right? We were in there, I don't know what the temperature was, but it was definitely hotter than this room. It was in the desert, so it's Nevada in the desert. Not even just Nevada, Nevada in the desert. And then we eventually climbed this mountain, right? There was a period in climbing the mountain when I passed out. I got heat stroke. I'm an old man, all right? I'm an old black man. I'm not like how I used to be. I'm not like some gym bean or jumping bean or whatever, right? So I passed out. I got heat stroke. I had to lie down for 10 minutes like this. And dudes were just fanning me with air, right? Had to lie down 10 minutes. And then what happened? I faced that question. All right, what am I going to do here? I'm going to get back up and take it at my own pace or quit. I decided, you know what? I'm going to get up, go behind the pack, a little slower, but still go with it, right? Still finish the race. Got up, finished the race at the top of the hill. Then I have pictures on it, pictures of this on my phone, right? So when I go to that girl, who's the 10, right? The 10 or the whatever of the club, right? I remember I explained 10 is physical appearance, elegance, chemistry, together, etc. So when I go to the girl who's the 10, and I'm showing her pictures of my day, right? And I'm showing her pictures like this, right? Me and all my guys just killing it, right? Just enjoying life, climbing mountains and stuff. It's not even game. It's that's life. She's like, oh shit, he's that guy. He's that guy. He's not the guy who's the guy's hey girl, you so cute, da-da-da. It's oh, whatever. It's no, he's that guy, okay? So I have something called evidence theory, which I'll give to you guys right now. I call it CSI Miami evidence theory. Just something I'm working on. It hasn't been published yet, but it's it'll explain what it is. So CSI Miami, just for a little fun, or evidence theory, it's like those shows like Law and Order or whatever, where you always see there's a crime scene investigator or a criminal profile person, and that person's always gathering evidence on the scene of the crime, right? They're scooping up some hair and a blood sample and whatever, a piece of clothing, and oh, the person pees with the toilet seat up rather than down or whatever, right? They're compiling all this evidence, gathering all this evidence, and at the end, what do? Crowd participation. That means you guys. At the end, what do? They find the guy based on the character profile they created, right? So my theory is that a woman is always doing this all the time. She's seeing everything you do, how you do it, how you walk through life, and she's making the decision if you're that guy, So I call it 555, okay? You guys can write that down if you want. By the way, when I say you can write that down if you want, I mean I recommend you write it down because somebody's going to come ask me later. I'm not going to repeat it. So 555, the first 5 seconds, the first 5 minutes, and the last 5 minutes, okay? So what that basically means is in the first 5 seconds, you're making a huge impression. Huge impression. What is the impression coming from? Usually when you open. Body language, eye contact, voice, tonality, right? All these kind of things, right? That's the first impression you're making. So you open, boom, first 5 seconds. First 5 minutes is kind of where you reach what we call a social hook point. That's where are you witty? Are you socially aware? Do you have empathy? Do you say stupid shit and not realize you're making people feel bad? Do you have interesting things to say? Do you ask questions? If she's you're ugly, you're just I'm sorry. Do you have personal boundaries as a human being? Okay? So you have personal boundaries. All this kind of happens in the first 5 minutes. And then you'll slide into what's called a social hook point. And she'll decide oh, they'll want to keep talking with this person or not. A social hook point is only where she decides that she would rather have you stay and talk to her than leave. That's what a social hook point basically means, okay? So then you get into the social hook point, and then you have a good time in between. You tell your stories, you hang out with friends, drink something at the bar, whatever. But then it comes the big decision. She's going to decide if she's going to hang out with you later. And hang out with you later doesn't mean hook up necessarily. It just means is she going to leave the venue and whatever she has planned to do with her friends and switch her plans and hang out with you, right? So in order to do that, she's going to do a lot of things like testing you. She's going to ask you questions. She's going to kind of be maybe a confrontational. The last 5 minutes when it comes time to pull, right? So in the last 5 minutes when it comes time to pull, there's 3 things that are most important. seating, leading, and defeating what is impeding. Okay? So that's the last 5 minutes. Seating is, do you guys know what seating is? Yeah? Okay, so just for the guys that don't know, seating is like making a recommendation, like, I know the best pool that's open late night. We should all go out and hang out there and dip our feet in the water. Something like that's seating, right? Coming with an idea of what you guys could do. Let's go grab food. I don't know about you, but these old fashions have made me a little tipsy. I'm a little white girl wasted. I could use some pizza, right? So that's seating, recommending something to do after. Leading is actually being decisive in your action, like taking your hand and walking with her. Not against her will, but taking your hand and walking with her because she's agreed that it sounds like a good idea to do, and being decisive in that. A lot of guys, when I see they lead, they just kind of like that, right? They're just kind of like unsure. It's like, actually, like, no, okay, cool. And you're like hard stepping to the location you're going. And defeating what is impeding is when, she's like, oh, well, my friends, I'm the designated driver and I need to drive my friends home. Cool, I'll get them a cab, right? Boom, problem solved, defeating what's impeding. Well, blah, 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 she has my sweater. Cool, use my phone and call her, right? Whatever it is that's defeating the progress of going somewhere or hanging out later. So that's what it is. So my evidence theory is first the 5-5-5, right? Seating, leading, and also defeating what's impeding in the last 5 minutes. But also to your question there, it's like the red rock, right? Climbing red rock. When she sees that, she gets evidence that, oh shit, this is that guy, right? Like a lot of girls will not break their plans for just any dude, but like if she meets that guy, she'll break her plans. Like imagine like Brad Pitt walked in this room right now, and or whoever who's hot shit right now. I don't know who Brad. Who's I don't know, Avicii or something. I don't know. Avicii like walked in or something, and there's like some girls in the audience here and in the back. So like they would like cancel the plans with the dude they're with and like leave to go with Avicii because Avicii would be like that guy, right? So my whole I hate to call it a style, but my whole style of communicating with strangers or pickup is communicating that I'm that guy. But you can't fake it. It goes up in steps, right? You're not going to be as cool as you think you are maybe this year. Then next year you build your life and you work on yourself and you become that guy. And then that guy, next year. And also to you, sir, gentlemen, you were asking about how does pickup and life relate? That's where they cross over, okay? So I just want to get into that. I'll maybe do one more question, then I have some stuff I want to launch into. Anybody, you're standing up, so it's got to be a good one. All right, my brother.
So I do a lot of day game, and I know when I was studying Tyler back in the blueprint about self-amusement and crossing a different threshold, I know that's very easy for me to do in a nightclub, but day game, because we're so socialized, we have to break out those societal conventions and all that bullshit. I find that sometimes like my impression management of the situation fluctuates, so that it almost, I guess, goes into approach anxiety, which
right.
I don't have.
So you're not in state in the day.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. So that actually is perfect because that actually relates to everything we're talking about here. So we can jump off of this and springboard into that. So a lot of guys care about state. I can't approach because I'm not in state. I can't talk to strangers because I'm not in state. Like state is not an excuse, right? There used to be, my old wingman used to have this amazing post back in the day that he wrote, and it was called Game in Your Natural State. So what would be the advantages of gaming even when you're out of state and not relying on state like when you're in the club? What would be the advantages of just shout them out if you guys think of some. Okay, that too. What else?
Get into state confidence.
Yeah, get into state core confidence.
Nothing bad happens and you get into state. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't rely on the state. Close. Anybody else? Congruence. That helps. Yeah, it's a combination of all those things, right? So when you're in the day and you're going out and you're gaming in your natural state, your brain starts to understand that this is okay. Like on a subconscious level, your brain starts to say, this is okay. This is normal to talk to people. Oh shit, people don't reject me or they're not as mean as I believe that they could be, right? And that's what you were saying. It builds your core confidence. So my guess would be that you probably do, right at the moment, this is just a guess, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. You probably do more nighttime than daytime right now.
Actually more day game.
You do more day game, okay.
I'm just trying to force myself out.
So it'll take more time. It'll take more time, but eventually you do get there. Now, talking to people in the day is fucking weird. I'll put that caveat in there. It is really weird. It's not like you talking to people in the day is totally normal. Like they're on their way to work, like they're like walking fast, and you're like, hey, 2 seconds, real quick. or you try some Julian shit. You're like, dog, I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you. Right? So that's really weird. It's really weird to like see somebody doing something and ask them to divert whatever they're doing that they're really interested in you and put their focus on you who's a stranger, right? Hey, can you in the back keep it down a little bit, please? Thank you very much. So it's really weird to do that, right? But as you do it more and more, the more you'll give yourself acceptance to do it. You'll give yourself permission to do it, right? The ultimate, like when guys come on boot camp, like usually like they think they're gonna learn something new, and they do learn new stuff, but ultimately they get permission. They're like, oh shit, Tyler's there. That's Tyler from the video. I can do it now. Like I have permission to do the approach, right? So you have to do it enough that you'll be able to give yourself permission, right? And like I said, it is weird to approach people in the day. At this point, like 8 years in, I don't get approach anxiety, but I would get what's called social anxiety. Like, am I breaking the rules here? Like, am I being an idiot? I'll call it social anxiety, right? Like, I see somebody on the metro, I'm like, well, they're on the metro reading the newspaper. Should I talk to them? Like, it's social anxiety, and that's normal. I think that never goes away. I think it's like saying, like I would be like you just don't want to be a dingbat by disturbing people, right, in their regular day. So I would get what's called social anxiety. Now, I don't expect that to ever go away. I'm just dealing with it. No excuses, Brian Tracy.